What product was so poorly designed that you suspect the team that made it never used the product? Toys that only have one volume. Extremely loud. Whoever makes these does not have kids of their own. I just bought a waterproof cargo bag for the roof of my car that was fairly expensive. The Velcro that keeps the zipper protected was just glued on, not stitched. The very first time I opened the bag, all the Velcro came off because the attraction to itself was stronger than the adhesive bond to the vinyl bag. It's like there was absolutely zero product testing. But I'm sure it was 5 cents cheaper to make it glued rather than stitched. How could something like this have ever been allowed to leave the factory? Way too many carrying products. Luggage, boxes, bags, laundry baskets have put more emphasis on comfort, softness, the top of the handle, rather than the underside, which is the side that is forced into your hand with the weight of whatever is in your box, bag, basket. I have an inkjet printer. Brother, that print's misaligned. Makes slightly wavy text. I can't fix it because when you run the alignment diagnostic stuff, either manual or automatic, it prints a paper for you to scan so the printer can fix itself. However, the printer can't read the paper it scans because it's misaligned, so it can't get fixed. Stupidest thing I've ever seen. Even called support and they were like, "Welp, it's not supposed to do that. GG, better luck next time." The trunk won't open on some Chevrolet cars if the battery is dead. There is no keyhole or physical release cable. The battery is in the trunk. You can jump it from contacts under the hood. Sure, but that's such an odd design choice to me. Those sliding shower doors with an overlapping section that is impossible to clean without taking the whole door off. What was loved by poor people until rich people ruined it? Buying a fixer-upper home and spending weekends working on it. I was really looking forward to that. Thrifting ETA. Thanks for the award. Going to the farmer's market. Pickup trucks. They used to be much cheaper. Fajitas. I remember being able to get skirt steak really cheap and sometimes for free. Thrift shopping. I'm not one thrifting one, I'm fucking broke. What was something fairly small that made you feel betrayed by your so? We were going through airport security together. She went first, and when she was being screened, pointed at me and said, "Make sure you check my boyfriend. He always has knives," as a joke, and then I got detained for a search and questioning and almost missed the flight. And no, I didn't have any knives, other contraband on me. Then she got mad at me for almost missing our flight. Like, what did you think would happen here Emily? I had a friend who dumped his GF when he overheard her making fun of his admittedly rather nerdy sister to her friends. He said it wasn't just about loyalty to his sis. It was about not wanting to be with someone who has to put others down to feel better about herself. Always thought it was admirable. It's small. But one year we were both working 15 to 18-hour days but had Thanksgiving off. I planned the menu. He didn't give input. I ordered the ingredients online during my lunch break to pick up after work because I didn't have time to shop. I woke up early, made everything, cleaned the dishes and the kitchen after. All he did was complain. I made too much. I had too much wine. 3 glasses over 7 hours. After all that work and not even a compliment or a thank you. Yeah, we divorced. That was our last Thanksgiving together. The most extreme case I know of is my dad and the girlfriend he had before my mom came along. He and the GF were high school sweethearts and had been together for 3 years. They were both dying to see Back to the Future 2, a movie that had been highly anticipated for years. He had a family emergency the day it came out, so they agreed to see it the following Monday. He found out from friends she went to see it with a douchey guy friend my dad never really liked. He was so hurt. And she was so unapologetic. Her attitude was, "I'll go see it with you too. Why did I have to wait?" Even though they'd agreed to see it together. He told her they needed to take a break. He fully meant for it to be temporary. Just until he cooled off. But then he met my mom when he went to see the movie by himself. And he never looked back. He does feel a bit guilty though because his ex was pretty devastated when she found out he'd met someone else and wanted to end things for good. My ex would skip the songs I liked that came on the radio. When he got COVID, he was quarantined downstairs. I waited on him hand and foot. 3 days later, I got COVID, but while he was feeling better and still quarantining himself, I had to be sick and care for our son. I was stooped over the counter trying to make him dinner and he just went back downstairs. I'll always remember that. What is something people wrongly assume about you all the time? I'm 70 years old. Look older. Retired and walk 3x every day. People stop their cars assuming that I have dementia and am lost. I am an Asian guy with glasses. People assume I am bad at driving and good at math. I'm actually bad at both. That I'm approachable and will want to talk to them. I just have one of those faces, unfortunately. I have resting miserable bastard face. Even when I'm perfectly happy I look morose. Every summer I go to music festivals and will routinely have people come up and check on me to make sure I'm okay because apparently I look like I'm on the verge of tears. It doesn't help that I look a good 20 years older than I actually am, so they just see this worn out old git who looks like they are on the edge of a breakdown. In fact, I'm usually just happy inside my own head enjoying the music. That I'm an extrovert. I'm just really good at faking it and I actually find you exhausting. That I'm very helpless and insecure. It's a result of my disability. Disabled people generally struggle with the problem that able-bodied people frequently infantilize us. In my case, this may be stronger than in others because I'm blind. When you're blind, your body motions and especially the way you walk tend to be very cautious. This has multiple reasons. For starters, I obviously don't want to get hurt. It still happens but I try to avoid it. Secondly, I don't want break things. For example, when I'm at an unfamiliar place, I'm always super rigid and careful because I'm scared I will knock over something and cause a giant mess. It has happened before. Thirdly, I also use my hands to explore my surroundings. When I step into a room, I can't just take it in a single glance like sighted people can. I need to explore it with my hands and my body. This takes much longer than simply looking at something. Not being able to see also means I need to memorize everything. For example, I need to memorize where the door is, how far away it is from the table, and so on. This takes up tons of brain space that sighted people can use for other tasks. Sometimes I get lost and I need to reorient myself. I know it sounds funny, but I've even managed to get lost in my 2-bedroom apartment once or twice. I know these situations quite well by now, so they don't stress me out as much as they used to. I simply gather my thoughts, touch my surroundings, and after a minute or two, I'm reoriented. However, I've noticed that sighted people find it very hard to watch this. They want to help me, which is nice. But seeing me like this also gives them the impression that I'm a lost little child who's feeling completely insecure. This view of me as a blind person can be very frustrating sometimes. Especially when I'm trying to talk to a woman. I'm an adult and I actually feel just as confident as the next person. I just look more insecure and helpless because I'm slower. Because I bump into shit and because I sometimes get a little lost, but it's not actually a big deal. It just takes extra patience on my part to deal with those situations. Why do you think women hold more degrees than men in the USA? Because women can hold their collection of degrees in large purses, while men have only reasonably sized pockets. Because since 2000 or even before, more women have been going to university than men. I think it's because men are more likely to enter into trades, military, etc., which don't require a degree for advancement, whereas many jobs with higher percentages of women to men usually do require some form of advanced education. I worked in B2B sales with construction contractors in my last job, and female contractors were unicorns. However, the ones I did come across were successful, so it really shouldn't be that way. I don't think this is a USA thing, thinking face. I think it's in general. This is news to me. I was told by reputable sources that boys go to college to get more knowledge and girls go to Jupiter to get more stupider. Now I don't know what to believe. Not gonna pretend this is universal or anything, but anecdotally, when I was in college, I knew a big group of students, friends. Approximately 40 of us. Mixed gender. From my freshman year dorm. Probably half the guys dropped out within a year or two. Only one of the girls did. And she ended up going back a few years later to a different school while none of the guys did. Subscribe, my brothers.